Well, hello. The video today is going to be mostly about a practice to loosen up your shoulders and your upper back. So we're going to be using the blocks, the bricks, the chair, a belt, a blanket, but if you don't have some of those things, I'm sure you can improvise. So I'm going to sit on two blocks today. If you sit higher, it's easier to get that lift up through the back. And remember, before the start of these videos, it's useful to spend a few moments in a quiet, comfortable place, just to bring yourself away from what you've been busy doing in the day. So you can take the flesh of the buttocks diagonally back and feel centred on the buttock bones and draw up through the spine. Get the feeling of spreading the collarbones and drawing the shoulder blades down the back. If you bring your hands to your thighs, you can draw the upper arms down. And this helps to get that feeling, although the spine is extending up, the shoulder blades are moving down the back. And the front lower ribs here are moving in. Keeping that, bring the arms forwards and extend the elbows, stretch the fingers, draw the shoulders down. And then we'll take the arms all the way up. So here, it's very tempting to draw the shoulders up with you. So try to keep the shoulder blades still moving down the back. And also keep that lift up from the hips, through the side body, lifting the chest, drawing the crown of the head to the ceiling, stretching the middle fingers, stretching the thumbs side of the wrists, the little fingers side of the wrists. All right, and then bring the arms down. Now link the fingers. Have the right little finger on the bottom. Make sure you join the fingers up to the roots, and you can have one thumbnail on top of the other thumbnail. Today, let's just turn the hands out here and draw the shoulders down and the elbows away from each other. Keep that lift up through the spine. Then bring the hands to the top of the head. You want to lift the thumb side of the hands and draw the little finger side down towards the head. Lower the shoulders, take the elbows back. From here, keeping the elbows back, keeping the ribs in, the waist back, draw the hands slowly up. Keeping the thumb side of the hands lifting up to the ceiling, opening the palms, straightening the elbows. That lift is not just through the arms, it's through from the hips, the waist, the chest, opening the armpits. Look up at your hands. Can you move them back slightly? And bring your head forwards. So a whole body stretch. Then bring the arms down. Change the fingers, so the little fingers are on the bottom, all the fingers are joined to the root. Turn the hands, pull the elbows apart, not literally, and then put the hands on the top of the head. Lower the shoulders, draw up from the base of the spine. Keep the idea of the tailbone hooking forwards, and then stretch the arms. Lower the shoulders. Open the palms to the ceiling. Think of really opening in the armpits. The armpits are said to be the seat of joy. So look up, move the hands back a little, bring the head forwards. Release the legs down, lift the body up. All right, and bring the hands down. Now we'll just have a twist to the right. So bring your left palm on the outside of the right knee. Take the hand to the ground or to the blocks and turn to the right. As you turn, make sure your shoulder blades are still moving down the back. The crown of the head is still drawing up to the ceiling. Then come back to the front and breathe in. And as you breathe out, turn to the left. So bring the right hand across. Take the left hand behind. If you can get the left hand level with the sacrum, you can push the fingers, tips of the fingers down and lift the spine up from that pushing down. It's on the back. And use your hands like levers to turn. Come back to the front. We'll try that again. So breathe in. As you breathe out, turn. So pressing down on the back hand, lifting up through the spine, moving from the pelvis, so move the navel, move the breastbone. Now look up to the ceiling and lift the top chest. Try and keep that lift in the chest as you bring the chin back parallel to the floor. See if you can turn a little more. And then come back to the front. Lift up, breathe in, and then turn to the left. So the legs and feet are grounding down. The tailbone is in. The spine is long. Shoulder blades are on the back. Using your hands to turn the navel, breastbone, look up, lift the chest. See if you can turn a little more, bring the head back to neutral. And then come back round to the front. Right, now we're going to stand up. Have a belt. Now, make the belt quite long. I'll have to step forward a little bit. Now keep your arms straight. You could have a dressing gown cord, you could have a towel. Lift your arms up without bending them, without bending the belt at all, and then take the arms over. So if that was too hard, then make the hands a bit further apart on the belt. So keep firm on your feet, strong through your thighs, tailbone in, draw the hands back up and bring them back over. If that was too easy, make the hands a little bit narrower, up and over, up. You can move with your breath if that's good for you, breathing in as you go up and out as you come over. Really lift up from your feet pressing down. And then this time we're going to stop, we're going to go up and then we're going to stop at shoulder height. Oops, look very lopsided in this film. There. And then you're going to pull the belt apart, lower the shoulder blades, ribs in, tailbone in. Just feel an opening in the chest. Try to keep your arms straight. It's as though you want to lengthen the belt. And you can make this as stretchy as you like. The narrower the belt, the more stretchy it is. Okay, and then release. So now I've made a loop in my belt and I'm going to make it shoulder width. If your shoulders are not very flexible, you might want to make this belt really overlap round the edges of your shoulders. but I brought mine just a little bit in from the shoulders. And then I'm going to put the belt on my wrists, here, palms facing, and extend the arms forwards here. So I'm pressing firmly into the ground with my feet, drawing up through the thighs, tailbone in, long body, shoulders down, pressing out into the belt. It just helps your upper arms to work. Perhaps make sure you don't have a buckle on your wrist, but also you don't have the tail of the belt over your face. And then we're going to take the arms all the way up. Oops. So here we are, we've got the belt around the wrists and you're hitting your arms out into the belt, lowering the shoulders. The palms are still looking at each other, the little fingers are forwards, the thumbs are back. Okay, and then bring the arms down, but just move the belt, the sort of midway on the forearms. And then stretch the arms forwards and take the arms up. If I bend my knees, you can see me a little bit better. So hit the arms out into the belt, lower the shoulders. Keep bringing the outer upper arms forwards, the inner upper arms towards the back of you. Okay, and then bring the arms down. And then this time on the elbows. So you're hitting the elbows out into the belt. Come to here, lower the shoulders, but take the whole pose from the legs. The feet are pressing down, the arches are lifting, thighs are lifting, abdomen is lifting, ribs in, shoulders down. Breathe in. And then take the arms up. Might be a little bit harder to get the belt over your head. And hit the arms out into the belt. Stretch up through the fingers as we did before. The middle finger stretches up through the middle arm. The little finger stretches up the outer side of the arm. The thumb side of the wrist stretches up through the inner arm, right from the root of the shoulder. And then take the whole stretch from the hips up through the side body. Draw the crown of the head to the ceiling. Enjoy that distance between the feet and the fingers. And then bring the arms all the way down. Now, dog pose. I've got a chair here against the wall, so I'm going to show you the first dog pose on the chair. So you're going to hold the sides of the chair and make sure the legs are into the wall so it's not going to slip. And step back. And you can by all means bend your knees to start and stretch from the hands. Hands are holding the side of the chair. So long body from the fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, up to the hips. So you can have your ears in line with the upper arms. And then straighten your legs, extend the feet back. Using a chair, if you have tight legs, it's one way to really feel that you can have the feet firm in the ground. So you can press your heels down. You can press across the balls of the feet, lift the arches. As you lift from the inner heel to the inner ankle, lift up the inner legs. Draw the outer ankles in towards the inner ankles and lift up through the outer legs. And move the hips away from your fingers. Okay, and then come up. So you can either repeat using the chair, or now you could take your dog pose onto the floor. And we'll do quite a wide spread between the hands and the feet. So have the hands, your yoga mat width apart. And by all means, you can step back and have your feet the width of the yoga mat apart. And here again, you can bend your knees, so you can press on your hands up through the arms and stretch the sides of the body and lift the hips up. And from here, you can slowly pull up through the thighs and extend back through the feet. They may not reach the ground. Back through the shins, back through the thighs, fill out the back of the legs. Make sure, give your shoulders a bit of a push up so that your ears are not near the shoulders. Press on your index fingers and the base of the index fingers and thumbs and lift the inner upper arms to the ceiling. And feel the width and spread of the upper back that action brings. From here, we're going to walk the hands back, and you can link your fingers, you can link your thumbs around your elbows, your fingers around your upper arms. Lift your upper arms beyond your head and extend the body forwards. So lengthen the front body and then pressing into the feet, drawing up through the legs. Let the body hang from the hips, but still keeping that stretch in the side body and still lifting the elbows away and lift the elbows up, away from the back of the head. Lift the shoulders away from the ears. Take the upper back in. Okay, and then if you need to, you can bend your knees to come all the way up. Now, with that dog pose, bringing the hands shoulder width apart, I'm going to suggest if you've got your belt, you can put your belt sort of mid-forearm. And this will help bring some awareness to the action in the arms. So you place your hands as you would normally, shoulder width apart, middle fingers straight forward, wrists forwards, step back, bend the knees and press the hands, press all the fingers down. Press both sides of the wrist down. Lift the inner upper arms, lift the shoulders, but stretch the side body. Bring the breastbone towards the thighs. Try to keep that height and lift in the arms, and then straighten the legs. See how much you can stretch back through the feet, pressing the shins back. So come back to the arms. Also keep the outer wrist down to the little finger firm as you take the outer arms down. Keep filling out the back of the leg. All right, and then walk forwards and come up. Right, we're going to have a little go at Garudasana arms. So spread your arms out, lower the shoulders, lift the elbows. We're going to take the right arm under the left arm, or the right elbow under the left elbow. So if we bring the arms like that, and then bring the backs of the arms together, bring the right arm towards you, the right hand, and then take the right fingers onto the left palm here. So initially, use the right elbow to support the left arm and lift the right arm so that the right elbow comes more level with the shoulders. Lower the shoulders. Then you can press the left elbow down as much as you press the right elbow up. Now it's not just from the arms, we want stability in the feet, strong lifting thighs, tailbone in, length in the spine. Elbows press into each other, forearms press into each other, right fingers press into the left palm and the left palm resists. Eyes look, one eye looks either side of the wrists here, or the left wrist. And then release. Take the arms out, lower the shoulders, lift the elbows, stretch the fingers, and then bring the left elbow underneath, backs of the arms together, left arm towards your face, left fingers on right palm. If you can't get that far, you can always just leave the backs of the hands pressing into each other. So here you're using your left upper arm to lift your right upper arm and lowering the shoulder blades. And then press the right elbow down into the left upper arm. Keep that lift on the left upper arm. Press the forearms into each other. Press the fingers into the palm, but also keep the elbows and the wrists away from your face. Look steadily straight ahead. If you're lucky that your arms are narrow at eye level, each eye looks either side of the arms or wrists. Just as Garudasana eagle pose, just as an eagle looks steadily straight ahead for its prey. All right, and then release. Now, we've got the chair here, which is also a very useful tool for stretching the shoulders. And I'm going to use a brick. So I'm going to come down and kneel in front of the chair and put my elbows on the chair, and I'm going to have the palms of the hands into the brick. Now if you haven't got a brick, you could use a box or a book or something, or you can simply do this pose with the hands in prayer position. So first of all, you just keep your elbows shoulder width apart. You have your palms pressing into the brick, fingers extending upwards. You can start with your forehead on the chair, take your knees hip distance apart. Try not to sink the spine down, have a lift in the abdomen. And then gradually you extend the hips away from the elbows. Keep pressing into the brick. Think of lifting the inner upper arms to the ceiling and putting weight on the outer elbows just as much as the inner elbows. If that's fairly easy for you, you might like to bring the head down between the arms and move a little further away from the chair. Keep Don't let the elbows spread. All these stretches do take a little time. There has to be a certain softening in the action to allow the muscles, all of the muscle fibres, to extend. And then you may like to try just bringing your hands back towards the upper back and perhaps then opening the armpit area of the chest a little more. Make sure both hands are pressing evenly into the block. If you have one shoulder stiffer than the other, then there'll be a dominant and preferred direction of movement in your hands from the shoulders. All right, so walk your knees forwards to come up. Another action with the chair to open the shoulders would be to turn and take your feet under the chair and come towards the chair. Tuck the tailbone in, lift the abdomen up. Turn the palms and have the palms on the back of the chair. Keep the tailbone in. Don't let this lift in the chest come from the waist. Make it come from the upper back. You can press your shins firmly down and spread the collarbones. Now, if that feels quite comfortable, you could take the hands, you could come a little bit nearer to the chair and take the hands onto the sides of the back of the chair. Keep your tailbone in. Keep your front ribs in and lift the chest, lower the shoulder blades. Feel the opening here. And then if you can come, perhaps you can come onto the top of the chair. Try not to collapse the wrists. Try to get the little finger side of the hand down just as much as the thumb side. And maybe you can bring the hands a little nearer together. But keep pressing the shins, drawing the lower back in, spreading the collarbones, lowering the shoulders. All right, and release. And then one more action can be to lie on the ground. Now, there are varying abilities with this arm stretch, in that some people may find just to put one hand on the chair and to lift their elbow, and that's enough stretch that they can tolerate. Or two hands in this way, lying flat on the ground. You might want to rest your head on the ground or look straight ahead, and you still feel a stretch in the shoulders, keeping the elbows from splaying out. However, if that's quite comfortable and not really a stretch, you might want to straighten the arms and have the palms facing. Keep the tailbone in so that you're not getting this action through the waist. You want to get it by the lifting of the upper back. And you could take your head down if that's comfortable. If that still is very easy, you can make it just a little bit more difficult by coming a little bit nearer the chair and taking the arms higher up. Do keep lifting the inner upper arms. Keep the palms facing. Keep the tailbone drawing down. The pubic bone is pressing on the ground and the abdomen is drawing up towards your head. Release your legs and breathe, of course. So still keep the width and breath in the diaphragm. All right, and then release. So, for our shoulders again, we're going to stand with your hand to the wall. So perhaps it's easier if I show you here. You're going to have your palm up to begin with and have the hand at shoulder height. Spread all the fingers out, open the palm, lower the shoulder, but try to lift the elbow. You might well feel some stretch through the palm, through the fingers. And then from here, turn the hand so you've got the wrist forwards and the fingers back. So you want to still lower the shoulder, press the palm in, press all the fingers in, even the thumbs, straighten the elbow. And if it's comfortable, you might want to turn your body a little without lifting the shoulder. You could turn your body a little into the room away from the wall. And then from here, coming back, turning the whole palm so you've got the wrist uppermost and the fingers down. So I might have to come a little bit nearer, lowering the shoulder. If your elbows, as mine do a little bit, hyperextend, you might have to have the feeling of bending the arm slightly so it looks straight. And for that I get a big stretch in the forearm. But if our arms are tight, if our side body is tight, all these areas have an impact on the movement in our shoulders. Okay, and then release, and then the left arm. So if I do it like this, the palm is up, shoulder is down, elbow lifts, press the palms, press all the fingers. Feel the roots of the fingers right through all the knuckle joints on the fingers. Even the nails of the fingers can press in. Rotating the thumbnail towards the index finger. Pressing the whole thumb in. Lowering your shoulder blade. Rotating your inner upper arm to the ceiling. And then turning the hand. So wrist is forward, fingers are back. And remember here, still pressing firmly with the hand, lifting the elbow, lowering the shoulder, but you might want to turn a little bit away from that hand. Press the whole palm. So equally, both sides of the wrist, press the roots of the fingers. And then back, and then wrists to the ceiling. Turn away from that wrist, look straight forwards, press into the feet, strong legs, tailbone in. Remember, we don't want any of this action coming from you tipping the pelvis forwards. Keep the pelvis level with the floor. Lower the shoulders. Look straight ahead. Press all the fingers, the thumbs, all the wrist, inside and outside of the wrist. Okay, and then release. And then Gomukhasana arms. So you might want to put a belt over your left shoulder here. And initially just take your right arm back. Try to keep open from the centre of the chest out to the shoulder. You don't want this sort of rolling in action on the shoulder. We want to sort of lift it and spread that whole area of the collarbone back. Keep the chest open. So we spread that arm back. Just turn the forearm in and bring the hand down. You might like to bring the left arm round the back. Hold the upper arm. Draw the upper arm down, back and down. The elbow back and down, spreading across the collarbones. Now from here, bring this hand up the back. And you can use your left hand to draw the elbow in or help this hand up the back. And at this point you could hold the belt. Press the hand in, take the elbow back. Now the left arm has to come forwards. Bring it forwards, palm up. Keep it close to the body. Keep it close to the head, with still the palm facing back as much as possible. And then when you come to the vertical, bend the elbow and see, do your hands touch? If they don't, you can hold the belt, so you'll be holding the belt. Now try to keep that right shoulder spreading away and back, the elbow back. The upper arm, right arm down. You can press the back of the right hand into the back to help with this action. Keep the left arm in close to the head. The shoulder down on the left side, and the upper arm is rolling in towards the head. All right, and then release. If you're using a belt, put it on the right shoulder. Take the left arm out. Turn the forearm. Bring the arm down, keeping that left shoulder back. You can still draw the left arm down a little more. Keep the tailbone in. Bend this arm. It might be easier. Use the right arm if you need to. And then the right arm comes forwards, palm up, comes all the way up don't, poke the ribs out and lean back with your body. Keep your legs firm, your body, front body in. Bend at the elbow. Grasp the fingers. Press on the feet. Draw up through the legs. Tailbone in, long side body. Open collarbones. Shoulder blades drop down. Take the left elbow back. Draw the right elbow towards the head. Just looking here. If you have got a corner in the room somewhere, I don't know if you can see, probably, you can take your upper arm right into the wall and step right up to the side, and that will take the upper arm back for you. Okay, and then release. So we're just going to lie on the ground with the feet into the wall. I'll move the chair. Take your belt, which should still be in a loop that's shoulder width apart. So now you're going to lie with your feet into the wall. Just come down with your knees bent to start with, and then just lift your lower back and move it towards the wall. Move your shoulder blades towards the wall and stretch them. Press the feet into the wall. So we've got the whole of the rib cage down, the pelvis down. There'll be a little gap by the waist. And then put your belt around your wrists. Draw your hands towards the ceiling. Now keep these front ribs down, because here again we don't want the bend in the waist. We want the stretch in the shoulders. Press the wrists into the belt. Slowly, slowly take the arms over without lifting the ribs. Keep pressing the wrists into the belt. Keep pressing the feet into the wall, the legs down onto the ground. Your arms may not come to the floor, but just take them back as far as you can, keeping the arms straight, the elbows straight, the wrists pressing into the belt, the little fingers moving to the ceiling. You can make sure that you open up the thumb side of the wrist so the arms can move down a little more. But keep the whole body rooted to the ground. Okay, and then bring the arms up, turn the palms to look forwards, and we'll repeat that. So taking the hands over, keeping the front ribs moving towards the ground. So it's a whole body stretch from the feet to the fingers. And then release, bring the arms up. And then you may like to link your fingers, right little finger underneath. Stretch up. And then take the arms over. Press the legs down, the whole body, front body in. Keep the little fingers moving back towards your head. Try to keep one thumb in contact with the other thumb and extend through the arms, opening the armpits. Bring the arms back up. Reverse the clasp and take them over. So press the feet into the wall and draw the palms away from the feet. Whole body stretch. And then bring the arms up and over. All right, so coming back up, we're going to do a twist now on the chair. And I'm going to suggest that you sit at sort of suitable distance that you can stretch your arm out when you turn. Now, I'm going to sit on the chair like this, and if you're smaller, and your feet don't come to the ground very easily, put them up on blocks. Sit on the buttock bones, lift up through the spine. We're going to turn to the right. So I'm bringing the left hand to the middle of the chair, turning to the right and taking the right hand at shoulder height to the wall. So I'm holding the wall, gripping the chair with the inner thighs and drawing up through the spine, and using the hands now as levers to help my whole body to turn. This is a very open twist, so you can use this in pregnancy or menstruation. You might want to move the front hand a little more round and see if you can turn a little more. Get that real height in the body. You could look up slightly and lift the chest. And then come back to the front. And we're going to turn to the left. So right hand in the middle, taking the left hand onto the wall. Grip the chair, lift up. Turn the navel, turn the breastbone, lower the back shoulder, keep the shoulder blades on the back, lift the chest, look up, move the front hand round more if you can turn more, breathe, make the feet firm, the whole body is involved. We're just realigning the spine, it just stretches the back muscles widthways. So if we've overextended some of them, it will help to bring an evenness back to the back. Okay, and come forwards. And then Paschimottanasana with a chair. So we're going to put the chair in front of us. And bearing in mind, if you have got a bad back, and you can do this pose sitting on a chair and stretching your hands to the wall, that's perfectly fine. So today we're going to sit on 2 blocks and take your legs straight out under the chair and take the flesh of the buttocks diagonally to either side. So you can have a good lift up through the body. Bring the chair near enough to you. So when we stretch forwards, we're going to stretch forwards, if at all possible, and put your hands on the top of the chair. So if your legs are quite stiff, then this might be far enough. And if that's too far because you have to hunch, then you can simply just hold the sides of the chair and lift up. If you can perhaps keep the extension in the front body and come a little more forwards, then you can move the chair a little further away. And by all means, you might be able to rest your chin here, lower the shoulders, straighten the arms. Bring a softness to the face, press the legs down, draw the navel away from the legs. Lift the breastbone, the collarbones, and let the shoulder blades move back down the back, taking the upper back in. And simply come to some sort of rest here, using support for your arms. So that you can breathe into the chest, into the diaphragm, you can broaden the back body. Paschimottanasana is a stretch for the back of the legs and the back of the body. All right, and then coming back. And then I'm going to use the chair, but you could use a wall or a settee, whatever you have, to support the legs in Setyabandha. So I'm going to get 4 blocks, but you can have 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, whatever suits you. You don't want to have any pinching in the back whatsoever. So these blocks are just for this lower back region. They're not for the waist all the ribs at all. And you need to approach the posture with bent legs. So you sit right on the front of these blocks, which are long ways towards the chair, and come onto your elbows. Sometimes it takes a little bit of playing with to adjust. Come onto your shoulders. Now, if that hurts already, you need to come down. So this pose, because we've loosened the shoulders, hopefully you can get a real lift in the upper chest by tucking the shoulders under your back. And then hopefully the chair will be there to take my legs. Keep the thighs together if you can, the feet together. The thighs draw in towards each other. If the chair's a little harsh, you could always put a blanket on it. Now, you can press a little into your upper arms to gain a little more lift in the sides of the chest. And then, of course, rest from that action. And be very mindful of the breath. And feel the opening and space this pose creates within the abdomen. Softening and releasing here. And within the chest. This pose is a good one to do at the end of your practice, as it's the throat is slightly closed, so it's soothing for the mind, and it can be done in pregnancy, in menstruation. So you may choose to pause the video and stay here for a little while longer, but when you come up, do bend your knees first, and then you might want to take one brick out at a time, lifting the lower back. You can lift the lower back a couple of times. You can bring the thighs into the chest, just to spread the lower back here. And then roll on your right side and get yourself ready to relax. You may well want to relax with your lower legs up on a chair, especially if your back is a little tight, or you may want to just lie straight out on the floor in a straight line, supporting your head if you need to. If your head tips back when you lie flat on the floor, then do put something behind your head. So you can start with your feet together, you can come down, you can roll, lift your pelvis, take it to your feet, lift your shoulder area, take your shoulder blades down to your feet, straighten your legs, turn them out, so you're on the outside of your heels, turn your arms out, so your palms are uppermost to the ceiling, beyond the centre of the back of your head. And when you're comfortable, then do close your eyes. Notice your breath, because as you breathe out, you can begin to soften and release the body. remembering that Shavasana is to allow the prana that we've absorbed in the practice through the postures, that extra energy for life. It softens the whole body and allows this prana to circulate to every part. So it is in fact a very important part of the practice. So you can just with your eyes closed, just feel the breath moving through the body and feel that you can release through your feet, through the soles of your feet, your calves, your shins, your thighs. Allow the thighs to feel heavy and really draw down to the ground. Feel that you can spread across the back of the pelvis from the center of the pelvis out to the sides. And soften through the abdomen. Feel that your diaphragm, it can move easily. And notice the opening and lifting around the breastbone. As you breathe out, let your shoulders and upper arms root a little more deeply down onto the ground. Releasing through your whole arm, your hands and your fingers. Allowing your vocal cords to move into the neck and soften. Releasing your jaw and inside your mouth. Allowing your eyes to sink deeply in their sockets. Allowing the whole face and the whole body to relax. Every pore, every cell of your being opens to receive this life-giving energy of prana. Let go of everything, every single part of you. Move into a space of silence and stillness. Namaste.